That's all right. It's like being home. You're constantly being interrupted.
All right, take two.
Got it. Okay, hold on here. All righty. Welcome everybody to the CDRPC Commissioners Meeting for Wednesday, December 15th. The meeting is also available for viewing on the CDRPC YouTube channel. Okay, do we want to do an attendance roll, or do we have a quorum? You said, right?
Yeah, I'll do an attendance roll though.
Okay.
Albany County, Bill Bruce? No. Lucy McKnight? No. Larry Schillinger? No. Kristen Swinton is here.
I'm here.
Rensselaer County, Scott Bendett? No. Judy Bressler's here. Jim Shaughnessy's here. Mike Stammel's here. Jackie Stallone is here. Saratoga County, Joe Grasso's here. Opal Hins is here. Jason Kemper is here. Amy Standard is here. And Craig Warner is here. And they get the gold star for perfect attendance today. Schenectady County, Don Ackerman is here. I think, did I see David Hogenkamp? No. Gary Hughes is here. Joe Landry's here in person, and Barbara Morrow is also here.
Okay, very good. Okay, first order of business is to accept the October 20th, 2021 minutes, meeting minutes. Has there been any
Just one
additions,
amendment.
deletions?
One amendment to the minutes is that staff present also included Kate Maynard.
Oh, okay, can't forget Kate.
Certainly not.
Okay. Any other additions, deletions that we need to know about? That being said, is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion and seconded as well. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carried. Financial statements through November 30th to current with the attached memo attachment with it.
Right. So quarterly statements, these are through November 30th. On the revenue side, we're tracking at 84% to budget, and the expenses we're tracking at 88% to budget. Par on both sides is 92. We're under on the revenue side a little bit because we've yet to book the Q4 revenues. Once we book the Q4 revenues, we'll put up on the revenues and expense side. On the expense side, we're tracking over on the consultant services line. And that's as a result of our offshore wind supply chain study. We had to do our first consultant payment this calendar year. But again, that is completely covered by our CARES Act funding and through our partnership with CEG. Printing and publishing is over primarily due to some 100% reimbursable Facebook ads related to our clean heating and cooling program. And that's basic update on our financials. Any
If you
questions?
don't mind, if you're not in a hurry. That's it? Any questions on the financial report? Financial statement, I should say. Is there a motion to accept the financial statement?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Judy, seconded.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, we're moving right along here. The 2022 proposed CDRPC budget memos.
Right. So our overall 2022 budget is proposed at 14.8% more than the 2021 budget. It reflects additional revenue and additional expenses related to the climate leadership program, and also continued revenues from the CARES Act funding. So we're in a good position for 2022. I'm pleased to report that all the counties, I believe, did act on the appropriate amount to reflect the 5% increase in the county contribution. So thank you all to the commissioners for your assistance and support for that change. On the contractual services line, we'll be doing 7 school enrollment projections in 2022. We're adding the City of Schenectady School District to our roster, hopefully to our roster of school enrollment projections. There's additional money anticipated from work on our economic impact assessments for that. The NYSERDA, the budget proposes obviously additional money from our continued operations of the Clean Energy Communities Program and the Clean Heating and Cooling Program. Significant revenues coming in through those programs. The new program, the Climate Smart, it's really climate leadership. And that's an additional, we anticipate, it's $140,000 annually, but the revenue side, we anticipate 11 months of revenue for that program, figuring that they won't be able to execute a contract in the month of January. Long-term control plan CSO program, we are on a sort of declining action of that program, so we're anticipating a little less revenue coming from that program in 2022. EDA, we have our regular planning grant, $70,000, and then we also anticipate spending the remainder of the CARES Act funding in 2022. That's roughly another $100,000 for the subawards, and the remainder going to our administrative expenses in addition to the offshore wind supply chain analysis. Water quality, it's a pretty stable funding source, budgeting around $50,000 this year. And UPWP, and we have another action item on the agenda to pass our 10-year agreement with the DOT for that program. We anticipate about $150,000 on that program next year. On the expense side, the salary line reflects full-time professional staff of 9, and that includes the staff that we are yet to hire that will join our clean energy and climate outreach team led by Todd Fabozzi. Office equipment is pretty standard. We do anticipate, hopefully, the jury's still out, whether or not we're going to be doing an in-person workshop in the spring. We've done a save the date at Hudson Valley Community College, but we're still sort of making the assessment about whether we're going to do our training program in person or not in the springtime. Consultant services is again pretty standard. We have some spending on the consultant services line to support our Capital Region Indicators website, CARES Act grant programs, maintenance and supports associated with our website, legal counsel. This year, our treasurer, Larry Schillinger, suggested that we break out the consultant services line a bit more to reflect, our non-discretionary spending on that line. So we have to have an audit, and that's reflected there as a separate item now as a part of the budget. Computer supplies and software, that funds the variety of software programs that we use, either for just routine business or some of our more advanced data analysis. Travel, we think travel is going to continue to be lower than it was pre-pandemic as people find the value and use of meeting remotely, but it will likely go up as our outreach team continues to do their work in our region and our communities. Health insurance, the increase reflects an additional staffer opting into our insurance program and an additional staffer that we have yet to hire for the Climate Smart having a family plan. So that's the budget there. Based on the proposed budget, we anticipate a slight contribution to the fund balance. The unreserved fund balance at the close of 2020 was $517,000. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah,
Very
Mike,
good
if I could jump in. Hey,
Yeah,
Mark,
please.
it's Joe Grasso. Do you know the percent increase on the health insurance plan for 2022?
I don't know the percent increase because we changed insurance providers.
Okay,
So compared to our last insurance provider, the rates that we have are less. So as I explained in our last meeting, you're moving to NISHIP because, and being a large group plan, their premium rates were less than our CDPHP small group plan. So while our insurance expenses are going up, that really reflects additional staffers availing themselves of the insurance programs that we have.
great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
One other thing I will mention before I forget is that we are anticipating receiving an additional $167,000 from the Northern Border Regional Commission for broadband work, and Kate Maynard and Josh Tossi are working on that now. We haven't executed that contract, so those revenues are not reflected in our budget.
Okay, understood. Anything further?
Hey, Mark, a question on the travel. Is that mileage reimbursement?
We're a man.
It depends on the program. So our Climate Smart and Clean Energy Outreach team, that is reimbursable under those grant programs.
There's some
My
snacks
travel
there.
for a lot of the
Or
meetings
anything in the refrigerator?
is not necessarily reimbursable through grants.
Sure.
I just wondered what the rate per mile is now.
56 cents per mile.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, anything further? I ask for a motion to accept the proposed CDRPC budget for
I'll
memo of 21 through 25.
motion, Bill Bruce.
So move. Motion made, and seconded to approve the 2022 proposed budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Okay, update from the nominating committee.
Well, Mr. Chair, before we move on, I just want to make sure everyone knows that Larry Schillinger is joining the meeting in addition to Bill Bruce, who's on the phone.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
So
Please,
the report from the nominating committee is that they continue to do their work. We have 2 counties that are pending reappointments of their commissioners.
Yeah, I know Rensselaer County is one of them. They have not had an opportunity to, the new chairman has just been announced for the legislature, and that'll be Kelly Huffman. She has not put her list of committees together yet for Rensselaer County, but I expect to have something by the end of the week.
Okay, that was weird. Can everyone hear us again? I don't know exactly what happened. We're good?
Want me to try again?
Yeah, everything
No, I-
stopped after we heard Kelly Hoffman.
Oh,
I heard.
well, that was the last thing I said.
Okay.
But we seem to be good now. All right, so and the same issue is in Saratoga County. So while those commissioner appointments for 22 are pending, we're not able to advance the slate. I can report that the committee has confirmed the members from Schenectady and Albany County are willing to move up to the next positions. Anything else from the nominating committee? And that's Judy, Barbara, and Kristen.
I have nothing else at this time. Barbara?
No, nothing else to add. I just want to thank Joe Landry and Larry Schillinger for being willing to move up to the next post.
With that being said, Judy, after the meeting, could you give me a call down to City Hall, please, and to discuss some positions when you get a chance?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Let's see. That being said, the 2020 meeting schedule, it's been attached. Any questions on the schedule?
Let's see. Yeah, I think we missed one there, Mike. The number 6, the DOT agreement.
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I crossed it out too soon. The agreement, authorization of the agreement with the New York State DOT. Memos
So
21
again,
through
this is
27.
a long-term relationship that we've had with our partners down the hall at the Capital District Transportation Committee. We provide them with services for that. For those services, we get reimbursed from the DOT. The agreement is attached in addition to the resolution that authorizes the agreement to be executed is also attached. The term of this agreement is typically for 10 years. So it's probably gives us a very stable source of funding for the term of the contract. So a motion is requested to approve the supporting resolution in support of the proposed agreement and also approve the agreement as presented.
All right. Do we need 2 motions for this or just 1 motion to cover them both?
We can do 1 motion to cover them both as long as Amy reflects the board actions for both.
Okay. Any questions regarding the authorization for agreement for the New York State Department of Transportation 10-year agreement? Is there a motion to accept?
I'll motion.
Motion made. Is there a second? You have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing none, motion approved. Thank you for that. Now we'll get to the 2022 meeting schedule.
Yes, we'll continue with our tradition of convening at 10 a.m. on the third Wednesday of January, March, May, July, October, and December.
Is there any conflicts known by any of the counties involved? You see any conflicts? Okay. That being said, we'll accept that. We don't need a motion for that, do we? It's just a question of knowledge, acknowledging it.
We do need to actually adopt the meeting schedule.
Okay. So therefore, is there a motion to accept the 2022 meeting schedule as proposed?
So moved.
I'll
We
second.
have a motion, we have a second, and we have a second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion approved. Okay, next is the approval for the Ftc zone.
Right, so we are an operator of a foreign trade zone. We have currently one user, which was previously called AMRI. They've changed their name. And that triggers a process by which we have to update our agreement with them. And that new agreement is reflected there. That agreement has also been updated to the current standard for FTZ agreements. So because we had to redo an agreement anyway, we wanted to make sure it was the most up-to-date version. There's some other detailed changes. The bottom line is our fee will remain the same at $12,500 a year as the FTZ operator, and the operator agreement is attached. So any questions on the agreement?
Hearing no questions, is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
There's a motion made, is a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second to approve the FTZ subzoning agreement with Cura. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion approved. Okay, boy, oh boy. Just gonna go pretty quick here. Okay, moving to the next thing on the agenda would be the update of the administrative guidelines and committees by you, Mark.
Right, so I apologize to the committee members. I've not done the work that I said I was going to do and give back to them. So we're a little delayed on the report. The committee has discussed a variety of updates to the guidelines, some parameters for permanent policy on remote work, emphasizing flexibility, seniority, and reasonableness. But I did not do my end of that task, so the committee does not unfortunately have an updated report to provide to the board.
So we'll table that till the next meeting, right?
Right.
Okay. So that update not being available, we'll table it to the next meeting. Staff reports.
So we had, since we last met, one of our staffers, Jill Hank, got a new job with the Adirondack North Country Association. She will continue to work with our clean energy team, and particularly Todd Fabozzi, because is going to be the clean energy manager for that organization, and they're one of our subcontractors on the contract. We were pleased to announce the recipients of the 2021 Erastus Corning II Achievement Awards for Intermunicipal Cooperation at an event the week of Thanksgiving. We had a nice event out in Waterville. Projects that were recognized, including the collaboration for adaptation and response to the impacts of COVID-19 for community vaccination clinics between Albany County and the City of Albany and the Alliance for Better Health. The town of Colony and the City of Albany for the emergency interconnect system to ensure that clean water is available in times of emergency between the municipalities. And the Congress Street Bridge study, which is going to be a catalyst for economic development in Waterville and the city of Troy. So pleased to do those awards again. I mentioned the NBRC work for regional broadband. We're in the process right now of reaching out to stakeholders and business and industry folks to talk about the best investments that we can make in our region to put us on a good path to perhaps receive some of the additional recovery money that's coming down for broadband, to fill the gaps in service in our region. Again, another big update, we're still going through the contracting phase, but Todd Fabosi and the Clean Energy team were key in securing a $1.2 million grant. It's going to be a multi-year grant, so likely much more money than that coming into the program. Our role in the Climate Leadership Grant Program, is administering the program in a 28-county region, and Todd's going to be the lead administrator of that work, netting CDRPC $140,000 annually. Again, I mentioned the supply chain study with National Grid. We're about halfway through the supply chain study. And again, that study is identifying businesses that could that are either producing elements that are needed for the offshore wind industry, or could be enticed to retool their factories to start producing things here that'll feed into the supply chain for the offshore wind industry. We mentioned the climate leadership round, social media, the decennial census. Again, on our website, if you have any questions about the decennial census, we have a great visualization of population changes by census tract between 2010 and 2020 by race and ethnicity. We still do not have an update when the Census Bureau is going to release the full 2020 census data. They still just allude to sometime in 2022. They're going through a process to validate the data, and because of the challenges of the pandemic, it's been more challenging than it has been in previous terms. I'd like to thank Josh Tossi for keeping all of our data and analytics up to date on the website. We do a fair amount of technical assistance programs, and a listing of those technical assistance projects are included in the report. In 2021, we were able to work on or start or complete 7 technical assistance projects. Total effort, including match, is just under $100,000, so it's a good benefit that we can bring and direct services to the communities that we can provide, and funded by and large by our partnership with CDTC. Man, it's hard to talk a long time with the mask on. I just have to say that. I'm like running out of air. Economic development, we're still going gangbusters. We did hear yesterday or Monday that our region was unsuccessful with our application for the Build Back Better Regional Challenge. I think the effort there to pull together a variety of stakeholders, academic, industrial, scientific, was very good, and CEG did a great job doing it. And I think those connections are going to pay dividends in other programs that the EDA offers, or other programs that are going to be offered as part of the recovery or infrastructure package. Kate Maynard on our team is still working with a variety of partners, including CEG, on the Good Jobs Challenge application. And that focuses on workforce development and other elements of that. Our CARES Act subaward program, we've allocated to date about half of the $200,000 that we were subawarding to our subawardee county economic development agencies, which is a good thing. And I think that's a good summary of where we are. There's a lot of other things that we're sort of working on in water quality. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to check out information on the Beaver Creek Clean River Project, which is the largest capital project in the 15-year long-term control plan to control CSO, and it would be the single most impactful project to reduce CSO flow into the Hudson River anywhere from the Troy Dam down to the Battery in New York City. So significant project. You can even go down there and look at it. It's in Lincoln Park. Right now, they're starting to build the foundation. It's a facility that's going to be primarily subterranean, but it's going to process millions of gallons of combined stormwater and wastewater. Martin, you have anything to say about that?
It's a giant hole in the ground.
Well, there is some construction there I've seen in my tour, so it does look good.
Yeah, they're pouring they're mostly done with the tunneling, and they are constructing the diversion chamber at Delaware, and the facility is going gangbusters. And I did want to know, Albany did receive some money for the Reflection and Learning Garden in this round of the CFA process. I put a link to all the CFA awards in the chat, but there were a lot of great stormwater and sewer projects in the CFAs this year, so the state recognized the need out there. So it was good to see that those contributions be made to projects like ours.
In terms of human services, this is stuff that I work on with CDYCI. The big news is that the staffing shortage continues and the bed space shortage continues throughout the state, which means that we have to turn away, youth that have been arrested or need to go to secure detention. I'd like to commend the parole offices for being creative about how we monitor people that are supposed to be in pretrial detention but cannot be in there. In terms of the facility expansion project, the current budget estimates are $11 million. Our architects have gone through the schematic design phase. We've submitted our cost estimates to OCFS and New York State Division of Budget for approval, and Albany County has approved an extension to the architect's contract to take us through the rest of the design phase. And we anticipate having hopefully bid documents out on the street, if of all things, everything goes to plan in sort of the March timeframe. So there are a lot of unknowns in terms of financing, other agreements between the counties that may be needed. But if all the chips fall into place, we may be able to put a shovel in the ground during this construction season. So we'll see how it goes. We still need to get a lot of questions answered by the state before I think the counties will be comfortable proceeding with that capital project. And finally, I'd just like to thank the staff, continue to do tremendous work. I'd like to particularly recognize Todd Fabosi. Todd Fabosi has single-handedly brought in nearly $6 million to CDRPC in the last 5 years, or secured that many grants. Continues to build the team, expand our staff, which is great. It's been tremendous work. I'd also like to recognize Tara Donadio. Tara has been promoted to Assistant Director of Sustainability in recognition of her work, her skills, and her advancement in a leadership role in that portfolio. And Josh Tassi has also been promoted to Senior Planner in recognition of his, obviously good work experience, and he's going to be stepping into an increasing role in broadband. I'd like to also recognize Kate Maynard. She is taking on more work, and this is sort of what regional planning councils are really good at: responding to opportunities, talking to partners, and developing projects. And she's been doing that for the CARES Act money. We'll be doing that for the broadband work that we will embark on. And we'll likely be doing that for a number of years to come as additional federal funding comes down for infrastructure projects.
We're losing people
We're losing people.
left and right here.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's less and less.
All right, well, I guess, do we have enough people to
We need to adjourn. quick.
adjourn?
I'm here, guys. I'm sorry I had a meeting that went late, but if I add to the tally, I'm here.
All right, I guess, can we adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second.
There you go.
all right, thanks.
Because everyone else already did.
Jeez Louise. All right, thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm still here, Mark, if it matters.
Okay.
I did lose you twice during the meeting though, so